You're watching Fugitive Red Eye, and welcome to another episode of Takeshi Tuesdays. So we're done with the movie reviews for this season. There will probably be more next season once I see some more of his acting roles. But for this episode, we're going to talk about where to start with Takeshi's movies, because there may be some of you who have never watched a Takeshi Kitano movie, and you want to know where to start. Well, I'm going to give you 5 solid options, in no particular order, that I think are great jumping off points to start with Takeshi's films. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into it, and I'll start with the first suggestion. My first suggestion to start with is simply his first film he directed, Violent Cop. Now, Violent Cop is not Takeshi's best film, in my opinion. It's still very enjoyable, but I feel like his career got better as it went on. But Violent Cop is a nice way to start out because it's where he started. Why not start out with a film that Takeshi himself first directed? While it's a movie that he himself didn't completely write, he did do rewrites for it later on. It was originally going to be directed by the guy who directed Battle Royale, Kinji Fukasaku. But due to scheduling conflicts, Takeshi took over the mantle of director, and that started, in my opinion, the best directorial career I've ever seen. So Violent Cop is a good place to start because it's simply where Takeshi started, and it gives you a nice idea of the kinds of movies he does, because it still has very many of Takeshi's tropes in it. Option number 2, Fireworks. Quite simply, Fireworks, in my opinion, is Takeshi's best movie. Fireworks is a good starting point because it gives you an idea of the massive downer kind of movies Takeshi makes. It gives you an idea of the violence he instills in his movies, and the sadness that comes with it. Fireworks is a beautiful movie, and it has a great love story in it, and a great tragedy. So Fireworks is a good place to start, simply because it is his best movie, and it emphasizes what kind of stuff he makes. Now let's talk about option number 3, Kikujiro. Now Kikujiro was Snowman's favorite Takeshi movie when we watched it, and he actually said this is a good place for people to start, and I'd have to agree with him on that for one simple reason. Kikujiro introduces you to Takeshi's style and many of his tropes without being a massive downer. It's not an overly depressing movie, and it still shows you his style, tropes, and it still has some sadness in it. It's beautiful, and it has a soundtrack by Joe Hisaishi, as do all of his best movies. But overall, Kikujiro is just a fun place to start because it's a fun movie, and it'll help you wean your way into Takeshi's style. Option number 4, Zatoichi. Zatoichi is a good place to start simply because it's the movie with the most mainstream appeal. Out of all of Takeshi's movies, it's the one that has the most action in it, and doesn't really focus entirely on his style. It's made using more traditional filmmaking techniques. So it'd be more accessible to someone who's not used to Takeshi's style to start with Zatoichi because it's a more traditional movie. It's also a very good samurai movie, and I'd highly recommend it anyway, so why not start with Zatoichi? Get yourself introduced to his movies, and not have to worry too much about his over-the-top style. And now that brings me to option number 5, Sonatine. Sonatine is a good place to start because Sonatine is where I feel that Takeshi's career started to get good. All of his movies are enjoyable, but Sonatine was when his career really took a turn for the better. Sonatine was the first time he really got a knack for mixing comedy, tragedy, and action all into one. Sonatine was the first time you see all of these blend so seamlessly well together. While his other movies before it still had elements of that, it was a little bit rough in things like Boiling Point, and there was no comedy in Violent Cop. And A Scene at the Sea itself not being a violent movie doesn't give you an idea of the kind of stuff he's known for. So Sonatine has all of his major tropes that he's known for, and helped establish his style even further than his other movies have. So that's why Sonatine is my number 5 choice, again in no particular order, of where to start with Takeshi. Those are kind of my ideas on where to start. Obviously, there are other valid options out there. Brother would be another good one, for instance, because it takes place in America and is almost entirely in English. And if you want to talk about movies that he didn't direct but he did star in, Battle Royale is where most people start out because that's the most commonly seen one that he was in. But overall, my 5 choices are what I think are the best places to start with Takeshi. If you're a fan of Takeshi and you have a disagreement or have ideas of your own that would be better, let me know in the comments below, and this has been Fugitive Red Eye. Have a great day.
I'm a Michael Jordan.